Hey bitches, I am on my nightly hot girl walk and I got the inspired action hit to film our next podcast episode. So I got my little voice memo app. I'm walking, getting in my steps because your girl's behind. And I want to get into today's topic. Before I get into today's topic though, I want to thank you guys because the podcast is growing. And the fact that the podcast is growing genuinely makes me so freaking happy because y'all know that the most important thing for me is impact. Because I'm a firm believer that every single woman and every single person that was put on this planet was given the opportunity to overcome limitations. We have been put on this planet, this fucking ball of earth spinning in the middle of the fucking galaxy, this video game of life, of limitation and challenges, and overcoming that to co-create our dream life and remember where we've come from, which is of the Most High, which is of God, which is of Source. And so if my podcast, when you take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because I'm not Jesus, I don't expect everything I say on every single podcast episode to land for you 100%. But my intention is to speak from my heart, to speak from my experience, to speak from my own embodied wisdom and my intuition with the best intentions possible at the current level of consciousness that I'm at. And my intent is to hopefully create a ripple effect, which is what we're going to talk about today, hint, in your own lives. To spark something within you every single time that either creates clarity within the fog, that either connects you deeper to your purpose, which again, your purpose is you. I've always asked myself the question, what is my purpose? Am I on track with my purpose? And am I in alignment with my purpose? And I am always reminded by my highest self, by my guides, by God, that my purpose is me and that you and I are always on our purpose right now. Even if it feels like it's not, everything that you're learning and experiencing in whatever season that you're in life right now is a theme that you need to collect data and to collect experience and to collect lessons, which will in turn be wisdom to support you in what it is that you do want and what it is that you do need to attract and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the same way that when I listen to a podcast episode and I am feeling confused or I want to learn something or I just want to expand my mind and that happens to me, that's what I wish for you and for your friends and for your family. So keep spreading the word, guys, because this podcast is not about me. I love myself. I think I'm amazing, but it's not about me. I love hearing myself talk, but it's not about me. Oh my God, I have the same laugh as my dad. They call it oh my God. Ain't that the broke laugh? I don't use the word broke in my language, but y'all gonna hear me in 5 to 10 years. I'm gonna have that wealthy laugh. Not the anyway, the ADHD is activating. So that is my intention. Okay. So please keep sharing, keep spreading the word. You guys are a part of this growth and it just makes me really grateful and it makes me feel connected to my purpose because nothing I do literally fucking matters without that feeling of being connected, without that feeling of making an impact and causing that ripple effect. And I just want to remind you guys that you have that within you as well. And anything that you're looking at someone else and being wow, they inspire me, or I wish I had that, or whatever, the same way I do to other women that I look up to, is simply a reflection of something that's already within you but needs to be activated. Right? So with that being said, what I want to chat about in today's podcast episode is what I call the ripple effect. And this is going to be beneficial to you no matter what, because I know the first thing that our brain does whenever we're intaking any information is, does this apply to me? like, does this have anything to do with me? And it does. Okay. So even if you're listening, you're like, well, I don't experience that, or I don't struggle with that problem. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But you will get value regardless. Girl, I need to breathe. I get too excited sometimes. So with that being said, the ripple effect. What is the ripple effect? If you are on a self-development, health, wellness, fitness journey of becoming your best self, you are clearing these generational wounds of yo-yo dieting, of craving. I mean, we all crave external validation to a point, but like always craving external validation subconsciously, perfectionism, all or nothing thinking. You're working to rewire that. And you're also on this journey of, again, being your best self, working on your nutrition, working on your fitness, maybe drinking less alcohol. Maybe you're trying to smoke less weed, right? Then you probably are going to get to this initiation phase of being one of the only ones, if not the only one in your environment, who's doing this kind of stuff, who's having these types of conversations, who's holding themselves to this higher standard. And that can feel lonely at times. It can feel isolating. And if you're in a relationship and you're the only one too, that can feel even more difficult. Now, if you're one of the lucky ones that, your partner, wants to be exactly on the same page as you and wants to grow just as you are, and they're supportive and they have this positive energy, congratulations. But if you're one of the few that you're trying to get in shape, you're trying to do these things, and they're low-key trying to hold you back, they're like outwardly supportive, but they say things like, babe, you don't need to go to the gym. Babe, you don't need to do all that. Why don't we just get pizza? Nothing wrong with pizza, by the way, because y'all know I teach you how to do that. But anyway, they say things like, you don't need to do X, Y, Z. They lower your standards, then it can feel difficult. Now, if they're your friends and they are saying these things as well, it can feel difficult. The good thing, nobody can make you do anything that you do not want to do. So this is where self-empowerment comes in, right? And sorry, guys, if you can hear the cars and all of this. In my journey of overcoming perfectionism with creating, I'm trying to give a fuck about little things like that less. If not, then the podcast episodes won't be up for maybe weeks at a time, okay? So, stay with me here. I can hear you guys. I'm with you. But it can feel isolating when you are the only one, or one of the only ones that's holding yourself to that standard, right? And if it's, let's say, you and a friend, or you and your partner are the only ones in your environment, there can be this codependency that's created that if they don't show up, if they don't do the thing, then you're less likely to do it, which isn't what we're here to do, right? So, I talk so loud, this guy in front of me is like turning around like, who's doing this TED Talk? I gotta listen in. But anyway, it can feel isolating. Take it a step further. If the people in your life are questioning you, are asking you why are you doing that? Girl, what you talking about? You're not gonna get another drink? You're not gonna drink with us? Like, you always drink. Or yeah, sure, or girl, come on, just take another shot. Like, what you talking about? You on a diet? Or girl, why are you weighing your food? Like, looking at you crazy. Or, what are you doing? Or here she comes with her ice and broccoli. That was something that my coworkers, that they were just playing around with me. But still, it's like you're eating like this really healthy meal, and they're like, girl, what the fuck? You're not gonna eat out? Or like, what is that? And it's it's actually mad. Like, you get to this point where you're literally like, bro, this is fucking madness. That the norm, what's considered the norm, is like the most unhealthy shit in the world. Like, I remember in the past, like, I would go on a walk, and the person that I'm with, I'm like, let's go, like, can we, like, take this conversation outside and, like, just get some steps in? And they look at me sideways like crazy, like, girl, I ain't trying to go on no damn walk right now, because in their head, they're thinking, like, I'm trying to go exercise and, like, sweat and, like, put on my running sneakers and, like, go on a fucking run. And it's like, bro, I'm just trying to take a stroll and move my body and get my digestion circulating so I don't feel like a puffy, bloated, fucking sluggish human, right? But they don't get it. And that is the point where it can be a little isolating and frustrating, is when you feel like others just don't get it. They just don't get you and who you're becoming. And you know that you don't let this stop you, right? You never let it stop you, because you know what is important to you. You're not going to let anybody get in the way. But it does suck sometimes. It does make you question yourself sometimes. It doesn't help the doubt sometimes. Sometimes you just wonder if it would be easier if you just, like, went with the crowd, even though you know deep down that that's not what you really want. And you guys can apply this to anything. Like, I'm talking about health and fitness, but, like, you can think about career. You can think about leaving a relationship that it actually is, like, great on paper, but it's just not it for you. Bro, people will literally project all of their conditioning onto you. Why would you do that? They were perfect. Why would you leave that job? It was so good. You got good pay. You got this, you got that. Why are you, going to the gym right now? Like, why don't you just chill? Like, why don't you just, like, you're doing too much. It's like, you don't fucking get it. But guess what? Good. Because I don't want your life. I don't want to be average and to live on autopilot. And this does not mean, and this is super important that we are aware of, that you're better than anybody else. And you know that. And I know that. But people will make you feel like you think that you're better than them. But that's just because they're projecting their own insecurities, because they think that you're better than them. And when you actually, like, just because you think that I'm better than you doesn't mean that I think that I'm better than you. You think that. Why do you think that? Because I'm actually doing things that are good for me, that are now shining a light on all the things that, yes, you should be doing for yourself. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to control you. I'm not going to make you do anything that you don't want to do. But if me taking care of myself and bettering myself makes you feel uncomfortable, then maybe you should look at that. Maybe you should reflect. And that's the thing. And that's why so many of us try to keep ourselves small or dim our own light, because we know deep down, as we start to shine brighter, that it's going to trigger the shadows of others. But, like, you got to be willing to do that. The great thing is, and I've seen this with my clients, I've seen this with myself, and it just is an outcome, which is great, is the ripple effect. And what is the ripple effect? The ripple effect is that the same people that are asking you why are going to be the same people asking you how are you doing this? And what are you doing? You know what? Like, I said all these things, but, like, you actually look like you're glowing. You actually look genuinely happy. Like, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing this? How are you staying so disciplined? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you, staying so positive in such a shitty situation? Like, how? And people will start to look to you for inspiration. But that doesn't come right away, especially when you're becoming someone that people are not used to you being. But once the people around you, the right people start to see that this isn't a phase for you, this is a level of embodiment that you are practicing, that you are being, they will become then inspired. And when people become inspired, that's when it creates a ripple effect for them to crave the same change that you have cultivated in yourself. And guess what? It's not going to be a fucking 8-week challenge or a 10-day detox or some quick fix. They're going to have to put in the work, the same work that you've done. But the beautiful thing is that when you raise the standard in your life, the right people that are meant for you are going to want to rise up with you. And that's happened for me. Like, I can see how the people in my life Again, not from like this weird hierarchical position, but like look up to me. And they've told me that. And it's not because of anything else other than the fact that I show them what's possible for them through my own self-leadership. But here's the catch, guys. You have to go first. And you're already doing it. But you have to keep going. You have to keep being the only one. You have to keep going first. You have to keep being the pioneer. Because feeling crazy or being called crazy is literally just being right too early. Like you're literally right, but just like too early on for people to really understand or notice. And that's okay. Because one day again, they're going to be asking you how. And then you get to support them. How beautiful is that? My parents have been yo-yo dieting and obviously grew up on diet culture their entire lives. And I'm sure you can agree for the same as well. That's why we have all had that experience. I also struggled with eating disorders, but I overcame them and I sought out aligned support. I did the work. I did the shadow work. I'm doing the shadow work to this day. If you don't know what shadow work is, it's basically work around your like negative limiting beliefs, subconscious blocks, inner child healing, the darker work that like nobody wants to do when it comes to creating your dream life. Everybody wants to like see the angel numbers and meditate and, you know, sing affirmations, but that's not true. You want to do the inner work, but I'm saying in general, like it's uncomfortable, right? And so getting to my point, like I have advocated for strength, for nourishment, and using food as fuel instead of under eating or having this subconscious like diet culture programmed mentality with food of like, oh, like I shouldn't have carbs and too much carbs and like I need to like eat this certain way that you can stick to for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then you fucking crash and burn. And because of that, I've created this ripple effect for my parents. Now they're in the gym, not just from this place of like, I want to lose weight, I want to be skinny, I need to get rid of this gut, but from a place of I want to be healthy, I want to be strong, I want to feel good about myself for once. Fuck, I'm tired of comparing myself to these young kids. Like, fuck using age as an excuse. Like, I choose me, my happiness, my life. And this is like 57 years into their life. Like, obviously I've only been alive for 27, but still. And we get to do that for our parents, for the people around us. And, you know, like, just being able to do that is a beautiful thing. But you have to be the one. You have to be the only one first, or one of the only ones. And the thing is, the ripple effect doesn't happen by trying to get other people to understand you. This is where I see a lot of friction, because people are trying to like, they don't get it. You're trying to get them to understand. And trying to get them to understand like your choices. Why are you wasting your energy? You guys are speaking two different languages. So the ripple effect doesn't happen by you trying to get people around you to understand, because you trying to get other people to understand you is just a way for you to like feel validated. You don't need external validation. You validate yourself every day through the choices that you make. So stay in your own lane, focus on continuing to embody your best self, and the ripple effect is created through you just being you just embodying that. Like, I remember back in the day when I was like trying to stop drinking as much, I would like, and do what works for you, because this did work for me, but again, I'm just sharing a story. I would like text my group chat like, I'm not drinking tonight, and I would like make this whole thing because I was so afraid of like, I didn't want to drink. And then I would get there and then I would drink, and it's like, bro, the people around you are going to take your goals as seriously as you do. That's why I said, when they see that it's not just a phase, but a level of embodiment, people will start to take you more seriously. And again, it's not about other people. I don't know if you can hear that dog, but like, he clearly knows I'm preaching right now. You know, it is all about you. Okay. So with that being said, the ripple effect happens not when you're trying to get other people to understand your point of view, your perspective, to change, but when you just stay in your own level of embodiment. You want your partner to get into the gym with you? Don't, yeah, you can offer them, baby, let's go to the gym. Come on, you'll love it. Just fucking go. Block it in your calendar, prioritize that. There's either two things are going to happen. They're going to get insecure and they're going to make you feel like you're doing something wrong, or they're going to make you feel guilty, or red flag, honey. Evaluate your relationship. 2, they're going to be inspired. They're going to be like, you know what, baby? You're right. When they say, babe, let's just fucking order in for the 3rd night in a row, you're going to be like, you can order in. I have meal prep. Would you like me to make you anything? Hold your boundary, girl, because you're fucking queen. So act like it. And you are. That's why I'm proud of you. Okay, so I know what it feels like to feel like the only one, to feel like maybe nobody gets it. But focus less on those around you and more on yourself. And when you stay in your own lane, you create a ripple effect through inspiration, because people will get inspired, the right people. And if not, then they will fall off. And it was meant to happen anyway. And what God removes, he replaces. So don't you worry, honey. You're good. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Again, if this was powerful for you, if it created any shifts in you, I would love if you shared this. If you feel called to share this with anybody, send this to a girlfriend, send this to a guy friend, send this to a parent, send this to somebody who who would need this. And let's keep growing so we can touch more lives, change more lives. And if you are a woman who is on her own health and wellness and self-development journey, and you want these types of conversations one-on-one, and you want a different type of nutrition and training coaching that isn't just about meal plan and training plan, but is actually about changing your internal state, so that way you can actually achieve your desired physique and lifestyle from not a place of force and control and push, but from a place of ease and alignment and flow, then I'm going to invite you to book a free consultation call by applying for our coaching program with the link below. I'm not the type to hound or pressure, and make you do anything you don't want to do or you're not genuinely ready to do. But if you are in a place where you're like, you know what, I am ready for that change. I am ready to commit to myself, not commit to a program, but to commit to myself. And I want that mentorship. I'm craving these types of conversations in my health and fitness journey. I want to understand how to fuel my body and, really recomp my physique, but more importantly, just be my healthiest self and take care of my gut and my hormones and my mindset, because everything comes down to your mindset, right? Then I want to invite you to apply. But if not, keep binging these podcast episodes, keep sharing, and I'll see you on the next one. I love you. Bye.